Thank you so much for joining me today. In this video, I'm going to show you some of the free Christmas presents I'm going to be giving to people this year. This year has been a hard year for many of us, so trying to save money around Christmas time really goes a long way. Now I realize when thinking of free Christmas presents, nothing is really free unless you just pick it out of the air. So these items that I'm going to be making are free for me because I'm using materials that I already have around my house. So I'm not needing to spend any money to make these things. If you don't have these things somewhere in a cupboard for you, you might need to go buy them. But in that case, it might not be completely free, but it will be really inexpensive. Now for myself, I'm in the process of trying to declutter my house, trying to make my life simpler and easier, and the thought of getting loads and loads of Christmas presents actually makes my heart sink down into my feet because I've just decluttered so many things. And also when I'm choosing gifts to give to other people, I also consider that they might not want gifts as well. Also, the people that I'm giving gifts to are able to buy anything that they really need. So there's nothing that I can buy them or give them that they need because they could have gotten that item for themselves. So the way I'm trying to go about giving Christmas presents is to think about things that I would appreciate receiving. These are generally things that are beautiful, but they are useful and I can use them, that they will save me money in the long run because I don't need to go out and buy these things again. That perhaps I wouldn't have bought them for myself, but I will be able to use them. Things that I can use up and finish and enjoy while I'm using it, and then when it's gone, it's gone. And that is some of the criteria I have for the gifts that I'm going to be making to give to other people this year. Seeing as I have this big bag of material, I'm going to use some of it to make masks. You don't need to have a big bag of material to do this. I'm also going to cut up this pair of pants that has a hole in it and a shirt that has a stain. I'll put a link down below to the pattern that I am using. But there are so many quick and easy ways to make masks and all sorts of hacks to do it where you don't even need to sew. I think this year people the world over are needing masks, and it's very helpful to always have a few extra. And I think some of the masks that we are wearing at the beginning of the pandemic are most probably starting to wear out by now. Of course, if you are artistic, you can make really special masks as gifts. The next thing I'm making and giving is cards. Now I'm not very artistic myself, so I just Google something like easy handmade cards or even card making for kids and look for ideas which are within my abilities but still look beautiful. I have a folder filled with scrap papers and all sorts of arts and craft supplies which are leftovers from various projects during the year. I think this piece of silver paper I'm using comes from the inside of a chocolate box. I like receiving pretty new cards because I can use them throughout the year for birthdays, congratulations cards, teachers' farewell cards, get well soon cards, etc, etc, etc. So I try to keep the cards quite neutrally themed so that they can be used for anything. I then package about 10 cards and 10 envelopes together and put them in a pretty bag to give away. Next up, I'm making hair scrunchies for all the girls. I'm using material from my big material bag again. But as I said, you can use any material you can lay your hands on. For example, I'm also going to use the ends of ski pants, which I cut because there was a hole in the knee. Hair accessories for girls or women with long hair are really useful because they get lost easily, and you can use cute materials to make them special. The next Christmas present project is one that I started a little while ago. I planted a few herb seeds and they have now become seedlings. I went scratching through our donation pile and found these tin boxes that we are no longer keeping, and I am going to transform them into some herb planters. I am choosing ones that are big enough for the root structure and also have loose lids that I can use underneath to catch the water. You can use any suitably sized container as a pot for your herbs. I drilled a few holes in the bottom and filled it with some potting mix that I made. I then transferred my seedlings into my pot. I also made cuttings from the herbs in my garden and dipped them into hormone powder before planting them. If you don't have time to start herbs from seed, then this is a way to make a planter for free if you start now. But buying seedlings from a nursery is really inexpensive and most probably a safer option. We often take things in our environment around us for granted. We live at the coast, so we take picking up shells and pretty smooth stones for granted. But they could be lovely gifts for people who live inland and don't have the opportunity to do so. We made a discovery this year that sea sponges are, well, sponges. Now this may seem perfectly obvious to you, but for some reason or other we only found it out now, after living at the coast for nearly 10 years. I think perhaps it's because when you see them lying at the beach, they look so dirty and you don't want to touch them. But we've discovered that once you've cleaned them and washed them, they make amazing sponges and are highly sought after. So we've been collecting them during the year and washing them, and we will now use them as useful sea-inspired gifts. Obviously, not everyone lives at the coast, but it's the principle of looking at the natural resources that you have where you live to see if there's anything that people from elsewhere would appreciate. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. So now for the real deal. My love language is definitely not gifts. A love language is the way that you like to express love to others and the way that you experience love from others. There are generally 5 different types of love languages: giving gifts, acts of service, quality time, physical touch, and words of affirmation. A love language is kind of like your mother tongue. If you have a certain love language, then it comes naturally to use it to show love to others. And when people speak your love language back to you, you feel super loved. And as I said, my love language is definitely not gifts. I don't spontaneously think about giving gifts to other people, and I'm not really super excited about receiving gifts. So I'm really thankful for Christmases and birthdays, which kind of force me to give gifts to the special people in my life, many of whom definitely have the love language of gifts and feel very loved when receiving a gift that has been gotten specially for them. But Christmas isn't a total loss for me. My love language is quality time. So spending time with the people that are special to me fills up my love tank. And I'm looking forward to many special times this Christmas season. Thank you so much for watching and see you again next time. Bye!